Did we? This is
By the
just.
way, quick shout out to Trader Joe's almond croissants that you bake at home.
Oh my God, they're
Fire.
amazing.
Okay, go on. Sorry.
This is off subject, but did we ever talk about our neighbor that got murdered?
No.
Waiting to dry.
Ready,
Set.
go.
Hey guys, this is Waiting to Dry. I'm Josh Lawyer.
And I'm MJ Lindo, lawyer.
What was I supposed to say in our guest today?
I guess.
Because you waited a second. Awesome. So today we are playing a bit of a game. We're kind of sick of everything we listen to talking about a specific thing that's happening in the world. And so we've decided to make a drinking game to force us not to talk about it during this recording.
Are we allowed to talk about being quarantined though, or shelter in place?
I feel like only if it has to do with what you're doing in art. How about that? Or
Okay.
maybe not. I don't know, because that would be too hard. Maybe we can't just we just try our hardest not to talk about, he who shall not be named.
Okay.
And so anytime that happens, we'll take a drink. And if you want to join in on the drinking game, grab a cocktail, grab a whiskey, grab a beer, whatever you want.
Yeah. The truth is, you're probably not doing anything.
And join along. Yeah. I mean, at this point, everyone's looking for a reason to drink.
Yeah.
So you're welcome. Awesome. So that's just to kick this bad boy off. I
Yeah.
guess we could talk about being stuck at home.
Well, it's
about-
kind of inevitable because it's like the last month we've just been at home. So it's like, what is there to talk about besides what we've been doing around the house?
How about
and
we
our
can't use the words? Okay.
So that's like,
So let's name the words. No quarantine. No coronavirus. No COVID-19. What else is
shelter in
common?
place.
No shelter in place.
It's about face masks.
Yeah, no face masks. We could say things to let people know what we're saying, but we can't say no. I don't know. I think that's probably the main ways looking for. No hand sanitizer.
Lysol wipes.
I don't know if that says
Toilet
common.
paper.
Toilet paper. No
Paper
toilet
towels.
paper talk. No paper towel talk. Yeah, fuck all that shit. We're not talking about any of that stuff.
Okay.
But we have to get that out there before we begin the podcast.
All right.
So now that we've said that, back to your regular...
Regularly scheduled broadcasting.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, wifey?
Same old, except not at all.
I know.
Except it's very different.
Oh, yeah.
But it's been nice. I think we've been dealing with some family stuff, but aside from that, it's been very nice to have the time to try and schedule your day.
Yeah.
With the idea that we're trying to figure out the best time to paint or do art or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Throughout the day, and that's the priority.
I know.
That's been really nice. I've been trying to design the mural that we were doing in Oregon, which has been put on a pause. And aside from that, I've been trying to think of future mural projects as we apply to more and more and get hopefully more under our belt. So it's interesting to kind of have like a foreshadowing of whenever we are able to do art full time, because this has been kind of a nice insight, even though, horrible things are happening outside of our house.
No idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. Go on.
But it has been nice to try and kind of navigate your day to day with the main focus being art right now.
Yeah.
And figuring out, even though it's not how it'll be, it's a nice kind of like insight into how a day could look.
Right.
Because in the past, whenever we've gotten time off, very rarely are we allotted that time to go focus on our art. It's usually like, oh, well, it's for vacation, or it's for, some sort of like medical thing, or moving, something. There's
wedding.
there's always an event happening. So this is the first time probably in my entire life that I've been able to schedule my day around painting or art of some sort, which has been really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's been awesome. And one of the like cool benefits of what's going on in the world is that I'm not a morning person at all. And I used to have a job that kind of allowed me to stay up till the sun came up. I didn't have to start work till 2:00, I think was the time. It was a swing shift job. And so I would love kind of that little bit of time, and that's where I would get a ton of work done. Just stay up all night painting and drawing and doing whatever. So kind of being able to get back to my night owl schedule has been pretty awesome.
Yeah. I don't. It's been fucking with my sleep, and I haven't found the right amount, just because it's like I usually like the
How many
latest,
hours are you getting, you think?
Probably like 8 to 9.
Oh, that's not enough for you?
No, it's not. It's enough, but
How
it's
many
like
you
I don't like waking up at like 10, 11 a.m. I feel like I've lost many hours of the day. So I need to figure out like I think that I need to start going to bed at 11 or something so I can wake up at a decent time, because I do not. We've been going to bed at like 2 or 3.
Right. Well, I think the weird realization is that we're gonna probably, when we go full time together, we're probably gonna still oddly be on different schedules.
Yeah, just because I'm not a night person. Yeah, I think that would be perfectly fine. Yeah. I just need to. Yeah, right now I just feel like I lost a good amount of the day. I have a friend. I can't imagine how she does it, but she like her schedule is to wake up at like 2 p.m., 3 p.m. every day, and then she just like stays up all night.
Yeah.
But especially during the winter, it's like you've lost your entire day. You've got like 2 hours of sunlight.
Right. Well, the weird thing with me is that I'm getting the exact amount of sleep I normally get.
Yeah.
But because I'm kind of naturally a night owl, when I wake up, because I get less sleep than you, and when I wake up, I'm like perfectly fine.
Yeah, you feel rested.
Yeah, I feel way better than I usually do.
On the same amount of sleep.
Yeah, that I would get if I woke up in my like early days for my job.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's been weird. Now I'm like, my anxiety is more like I don't want to go back to work.
I know.
And like getting back into the normal, because it truly is like my job just sucks the energy out of me.
Right.
And the idea of having to go back to that after having kind of like this time to realize how nice it would be to just draw and paint and like work on our admin stuff and our shops and websites and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm actually more anxious about that. But it's like it's also like, I'm furloughed, so it's like we don't have that extra income coming in, which is annoying.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to take advantage of this time to set ourselves up to really hit the ground as hard as we can when things start to slightly go back to normal.
Yeah.
Because the problem too is like I'm very used to like navigating, trying to apply to public art and stuff like that. And there's just like nothing out there right now because everything's on hold.
Right.
So it's like there's some stuff popping up as far as like jobs, but there's a lot less. So I'm assuming there's way more competition. So I'm just trying to get a better kind of, organizing my ideas and thoughts in order to be able to apply that stuff when it comes back up. But
yeah,
it's been interesting.
Yeah, it might be weird because I know here they've been, because of the fires, that when they did a lot of call for public art, they did a lot of firefighter shit.
Yeah,
not shit, but firefighter,
like
fire themed stuff.
Excuse me.
So
yeah,
it's like, all right, or am I gonna have to prepare some ideas for potential coronavirus? God damn it. Everyone drink. You have to drink too
Why?
because
I didn't say it.
we're making them drink every time we say it.
I was just waiting for you to say.
I know. I you know what's funny too is I was like when I was talking about the fires, I was like, don't say it when you come up to that. And then I fucking said it.
It would be better if you were taking like shots for everyone, but it's still kind of early here.
Yeah.
You'll be sloshed by like 6.
Sloshed.
Sloshed.
Are you my grandpa?
But yeah, it's been really nice. We've been getting a lot of stuff done around the house. It looks like whenever somebody comes over, it'll be almost like a brand new house.
Right. Well, that's the funny part is like we're kind of messy people, but it's you realize it's mainly because we have our job and we do art.
Yeah. Like
and most people
they're just
work
messy
and then clean when they get and keep their house clean. We're just like we just have too many hours that we spend not keeping up with our home.
Yeah. It's been very nice to be able to, like, my schedule right now is like I wake up, I try and work out, I clean, then I get to work, you know, like that's been really nice.
Yeah.
But
now we're both working on a show for New York, and that was kind of a like everything seems like it's up in the air with artists.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks because you know, if you're not like making all of your income through art, you're at least pursuing it. I assume you're at least pursuing it in some way to give you some financial relief.
Yeah.
And if you're not, I mean, teach you, do whatever the fuck you want. But but so we still are gonna have to do that show.
Yeah. What I'm concerned about, like the lady from the gallery said that, you know, she's been working on putting more stuff up on her online shop, and she's getting success through or more sales through there.
Yeah.
But it's scary, and I think it's risky for us because it's like we'd end up spending a good amount of money that we may not have just going at that point, and who knows who's even able to buy art right now.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of, and then also the whole idea of going back to work and them being whatever 2-3 months behind, and then just not letting me take any time off, which had already been an issue before all this stuff happened. But yeah, I mean, those are just like anxieties and thoughts that I have for things when we go back to work.
So working on this show, you've already started your pieces, right?
Sorry. Yes, I've been working on 2 pieces.
So what goes through your head when you're like trying to build that body of work?
Well, I have already been thinking about it, and I have thumbnails kind of outlining the main, I'd say, essence of the show. And I have already all my references for the most part that I want to use as the main pieces for the show. The one thing is that these pieces are much larger, and the ones that you've been working for the show are pretty large as well. So not only do we have to get ourselves to New York, but we're going to have to ship these large pieces because it's the biggest pieces I will have been working on to date.
Right.
And it'll just be, I just really hope we end up selling at least a few to at least break even, because it's going to be expensive shipping it, getting there, and getting, you know, renting or whatever, like getting a Airbnb or whatever.
Crashing at Freddy's.
Yeah.
So, but when you're like, I have to do like a large body of work, do you have like an initial like I don't know, little like kind of beacon to kind of head towards, or do you just kind of build each brick as they come?
I think it's a little of both. I've like I said, I have like little thumbnails that I have that I'm trying to start working each piece kind of off of each other. And I'm trying to think of like backstories and, you know, taking notes for each piece and thinking of like the meaning behind each piece in order to figure out what I want to say as a whole.
Right. So do you think of each piece as its own thing, or are they like? Is there like some kind of like adhesive that connects them all?
I think I want it to have like an overlining theme that every piece brings to that. Like say like everything is kind of like a chapter to a larger book. That's kind of how I want it to read. I don't know if I'll be able to do that because it's a joint solo show, so it's
Right.
I don't know how much space I have. So I don't know. And the other thing is just like I really want them to be good.
So this chapter thing, is it like an actual in your head kind of a story thing, or what is it like?
Right now it's not a story. I wouldn't call it a story. I think it's more of a conversation I'm having with myself. The pieces are, at least for now, what I'm kind of moving towards is kind of tapping into my insecurities and growth that I have done and want to make. And then each piece is representative of like insecurities or growth. So far that's what the idea behind my pieces are.
And so
And
is
I
each
think-
piece its own like insecurity or its own growth, or are they all?
Yeah, and I think some pieces are a little of both, like kind of I think some of the pieces are the idea of knowing that I have these insecurities or these issues and accepting it and kind of just like facing it type of thing, while still, I don't know, like it's while still knowing that I have
An aesthetic?
growth. Well, also growth. Like I'm okay with it, and I'm trying to work on these things and trying to show that this insecurity is also something that has helped me be who I am, type of thing. And trying, I mean, it's hard if like somebody asks me what these pieces mean. It's really hard to go all the way.
But do you build into the painting that subject matter? Do you kind of give, like, how do you like work on conveying that?
That's the hard part. That's what I still struggle with, because in my head I have these thoughts and ideas that go into the piece, but I think where I lack as far as storytelling and like you're like an overlining thing that you guys talk about is narrative. It's I have a hard time portraying that through my pieces.
Right.
Even though there could be meaning behind it and like these are my ideas going into the piece, I still struggle with having it be something that can be read
Right.
easily, or I think that is where I struggle and where I need to work on as far as these next group of paintings.
But you don't have like you don't like, so say if you have an insecurity, let's say, and then you base a painting around that, is it, when you go about that, is it just kind of you thinking about it while you're painting it, or I'm a bit confused of how do you, if it's hard to for the viewer to kind of get to where you're like, say you're trying to say one thing, right? I understand like a lot of times the viewer, at least for me, the viewer isn't necessarily the main person I think about when I
Right.
create a piece. I'm just trying to say something in the best way I think.
Right.
And then so by doing that, I can explain it. And if the viewer doesn't get it at that point, then I don't really give a fuck.
Right.
But I'm at least trying to say it in a way that I find interesting or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah, and that's definitely what I'm trying to do with these next few pieces. Some pieces I'm just trying to. There's some pieces that definitely have more of a direction as far as something where it's trying to really tell a story or a part of like a chapter of a book. Where I have other pieces where I think that the image just looks cool, and it's almost like capturing the essence of the entire show type of thing. Like there's a model that we work with. Her name is Mariah. And I have this piece that I have printed out that I'm going to start drawing. And it's just really big. And I like her body language in it. But I haven't, and I have a thumbnail. I don't think it has any significant meaning towards what I'm trying to portray with this show. But I think that I really like how it looks visually, and I think that I love the expression that she has on her face. So I think that there's some pieces that have more of a mood to them to kind of tie the others into it, but other pieces have definitely more of a story to tell as far as like a chapter of a book. I think that some of my pieces will probably be like, if you're reading a book, there's all the, I don't know how, like descriptors almost towards, like if you're reading a chapter of a book, you probably have descriptors that are kind of setting a mood and making it feel whimsical or dark or whatever the case may be. And then they go into the story. And I think I have some pieces that are kind of, you know, descriptors and mood and setting the tone, and then other ones where you go deeper into the story. At least that's what I'm trying to do.
For sure.
Because it's definitely something that leading up to this point, I feel like I've done a lot of my artwork has been a lot of studies and figuring out, you know, palettes and stuff like that. And I feel like I do want to move towards more of a conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the pieces that you're working on for the show? Do you have an overlining theme, I'm assuming?
Yeah. I mean, so we're both working on big stuff, which I think we both kind of, once that happened, it was like, it's like one of those things where you just get addicted to it a bit. It just is so fun to do. And a big part of that is the whole idea of like tackling stories, you know, and going into how to do that well. A big, you know, wood panel just gives you so much ability to really like get as much juice out of that squeeze as you can, really. And so, yeah, I've been tackling these narratives that have. I'm going. I mean, a lot of this stuff I do already is getting lost and finding home. And so I know I had a conversation with you when we were helping your friend move, where like right before we got there, I was telling you how I like have been really trying to whittle down or simplify narratives even farther down to like an object moving, an object moving, an object kind of stuck or standing still or something like that. An object not moving, an object moving, and objects colliding. And so what I've been doing with this body of work is just kind of thinking about those three narratives that I want to pursue, and then from there figuring out which narratives I want to tackle within those three storylines. So the first two have been about objects in motion, and I'm also really trying to tackle or trying to play around with the whole like dark humor, you know, thing, and like and trying to figure out how to get good at that. So that's a big part of what I'm trying to do, is finding these interesting, you know, I don't know what to call them. Not necessarily genres, but so the first one I did was it was kind of based off of a lot of things, kind of like a Western style storyline. There's like I forget his name. I remember it once I hop off, but there's a poem where it's like, oh pioneer, something. If you Google it, let me Google it now. But it's about like the American frontier. And I've also been reading these these it's Walt Whitman. That's called Old Pioneer. But it's about these, like, I've been listening to these audiobooks about Native American, like the forget, it's not the Cherokee.
Comanche or
Comanches,
something?
yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. About the Comanches, and just kind of super interest. Like, I found that like and just kind of watching some westerns recently too, but all these like this like I don't know, genre or like moment in time where the story was very much about the free spirit and how it's called to kind of go into these unknown places, and the urge for human beings to just do that in general, the explorer in the human being, and how that really calls for like some, just there seems to be a group of human beings who are called to leave home, leave comfort for for something unknown and dangerous and whatever, whether it be rocket ships or whatever. It's all ends up being, people. The people that I'm come from, they were very much explorers in that way, and I definitely feel that kinship with those type of people. And so I did my biggest painting in a long time, kind of based around that type of person who's willing to risk everything for who knows what.
Right.
And so that was like an object in motion, a person leaving home. It's still both it's still the narrative of leaving home or getting lost, and but kind of whittling it down to an object in motion. I can play around with that. I can play around with it a bit better than really focusing on getting lost, because I think getting lost kind of attaches me to it too much.
Right.
In a way where I'm always thinking about my experiences and how to connect them to someone else. Where this has kind of allowed me to almost become more fiction writer type.
Right.
Where I can take a storyline that I think is really great, and then within that storyline add my whatever love or knowledge or whatever to it.
So you went almost from nonfiction to fiction, but with the same information. So almost like a George R. Martin taking all of the actual facts through history and creating a fiction from it, but still a very real fiction.
Right, yeah. But also kind of detaching myself a little more from it, and just kind of creating something based on a group of people, just almost about that pioneer, that explorer, like that person, and what goes, and like kind of attaching myself in the way of like I feel connected to them in some way.
Right.
And I think a lot of people feel that urge to like, go
see what else is out there
into the wild or whatever. Shout out to Monty.
Yeah.
Or like whatever. So it's that like spirit or whatever that I'm really trying to like
Capture.
attach to and then develop a piece around. And then the newest piece is just kind of, it's called neck hair, and it's just it's just about that feeling you get when you take the trash out. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, that's what the painting is. The painting is about taking the trash out at night as a kid.
Right.
There's no kid in it.
Right.
There's no trash can in it. There's nothing. It's just doing a version of that is not that at all, but just trying to capture that feeling of,
like an ominous thing chasing you.
The idea that there's something behind you and you are miles away from the door. You know what I mean? It's that feeling of like there's nothing I can't run fast enough,
Right.
and this thing is right behind me.
Right.
And just diving deep into that like funny, silly story, you know, of a child taking out the trash can. I mean, it has no child, or it's not even like, it won't even be read. I mean, it might have that feel, but if you look at the image, you would never say this is about a kid taking out trash.
Right.
But that's the, and calling it neck hair is just the, I mean, that's the idea that like the hairs in your neck go
The hairs
up
in the back of your neck, yeah.
when you
That's
feel
funny.
something.
If I were to hear the title neck hair, I wouldn't think like, because you're not saying the hairs go up on the back of your neck. You're just calling it neck hair.
Right. Well, that's kind of the joke of the thing.
Right.
That's like the dark humor in it. It's like it seems as though there's this person who's in deep amounts of trouble.
Right.
But calling it neck hair is like not giving it the, I don't know, the fanciness or the deep title it deserves.
Right.
Yeah.
That's funny. Do you have all of your pieces, kind of like the references and everything, set aside for what you want to do?
Not at all. And it's getting tricky.
Yeah.
That's one of the big tricky things is not having reference to pull. I mean, I have my next painting, I think, or my next two paintings set up. We were able to squeeze in a photo shoot right before
that counts.
No, it
that counts.
Absolutely. You gave me the eye, and I stopped because
I should have just let you. I swear you should be taking shots instead of just like sipping on a mixed drink.
I know. I'm already drinking. I almost drank it all, and there was a lot of vodka in this. So I drink anyways, even though I didn't say it. No big deal. Whatever. But
that's the other tough thing we've been running into recently. It's like we have, we've been in lockdown about a month and a week, and it would have been lovely to be able to set up a shoot or something like that to get even more like ahead of the game with everything. But it's like everybody again is like stuck at home.
Right.
So it's like you can't, like, nobody, it's like we're kind of stuck using references that we've already shot. Right. Luckily, I have been able to set aside every reference that I want for the next like 7 paintings.
Yeah. Actually, I probably have 3 ready to go.
Yeah,
now that I think about it.
I'm kind of freaked out for you because
I have 4, but one of them has to do with it's like a diptych that I'm supposed to do that I have planned to do.
Yeah,
for
I don't
the show.
know. Because it's like I don't know, like I've reached out to a few models and let them know like, hey, we've been very clean. We've been taking this serious. Like we'd love to shoot. So it's just a matter of finding somebody. And it's like we obviously 100% understand if a model doesn't feel comfortable coming over.
Why
because
not?
It's like, what do you mean?
Why wouldn't they feel comfortable?
Well, the models that I happen to reach out to have family that are like sick.
What does that matter?
So
is it because there's something going on? Well, just say it. Just say what's going on. I'm just saying. Just say it.
No. But yeah, that part has been tough. It's like, but I mean, for me, I have plenty to work on. I think that, and you have, I think that it's something that we need to try and figure out whenever you have your next 3 paintings done, and then you're kind of stuck.
And we might have to get creative. I mean, there's like, we can like, I think this is where like maybe reaching out to some friends, and being like, hey, you think you'd be willing to like do a photo shoot just so we can have a reference to paint?
Yeah. The tough part too has been like, there was a commission, like a couple commissions, and then we were supposed to do a mural for a brewery, but again, we needed to set up shoots for these,
right? So
both of those have been put on hold because we don't have the references.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's been that part has been a little tough to navigate. But
yeah. I mean, it's tricky.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, It is what it is.
Yeah. But I mean, we still have plenty of stuff we can do for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. You want me to start looking at questions that people
Do
might
people
have asked?
ask questions?
Do you have any work you're selling right meow? Yeah. I mean, I'm setting up my website, so hopefully I can like have a shop I can point people to soon.
Yeah, we should probably try and focus on that like this week. Because I think that there are a group of people that are still working and really trying to help others, you know, like especially artists who are struggling right now.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to buy art.
Right.
I bought a Word to Mother piece,
Yeah.
which hopefully comes in soon, and
Yeah.
Any kind of little piece that I can afford.
Yeah.
I'm like, how much?
Yeah, but we
That was
need
by
to.
Mario J. Dana, by the way.
Yeah, we need to. We definitely need to set up our shop so that we make it at least accessible for people.
Yeah. So hopefully that comes in soon. I've been working on it.
Like I have like maybe 5 or 6 pieces for sale, but I only have maybe 2 in my possession, and the other ones are at galleries still.
And we'll have some prints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prints.
All right. Next question.
Next question.
Waiting to dry. I'm assuming that's Sergio. Asked, do you miss your dear co-host? Nope. Next question. All right. Ariane Camps says, what emotions motivate you most?
Good
question.
That is a good question. I think I'm motivated by any emotion that I have. I try and put those pieces or those emotions down on pieces. The problem is that for me, at least, if I am feeling sad or angry or anxious, those emotions are something that I need to look back on. If I am feeling them in that moment, it's very difficult for me to sit down and paint. Like I can't concentrate. I can't I feel like everything I do is like just not good.
Yeah.
You know, like I can't, like I can do things like maybe draw things out or map like my drawings out or something that's a little less mindless or like less like cerebral. But to actually sit down and paint it, you know, like with everything that's been happening, sitting at home and trying to get ready to paint, I need a clean space. I need, I need, my dog Mello out of my studio.
How
like,
dare you? Mello's always in my studio when I'm painting.
Yeah, but his snoring is just so loud. It's like very distracting. But it's just like I kind of just need a very clean slate, and if I don't have the energy to clean or it's gotten too late in the day, like I just need like a good place to start working and have and I also like it's hard to work when I only have like an hour or 2 to do it. Like I want to have like a full day.
Right.
But what about you?
Well, I mean, the emotion I feel right now is mad because you said my dog snores too loud.
I didn't say his snores too loud. What? I can't work like that.
That's snorist, by the way. But
he also farts a lot, so it's like he stinks up my
motivates
room.
You most. So what emotion? So I mean, the emotion that I feel the most productive in is just calm, being calm. But yeah, it is that like that idea of drawing back at certain emotions.
Yeah.
That is definitely the key to like trying to tackle those things.
Yeah, and sometimes like getting back into those emotions is like listening to certain music or watching certain movies to try and like get back into a certain place. I know that Nadezhda, I had a really good conversation with her one time where she likes to go, like her paintings are kind of dark,
right? And
she likes to go to a dark place when she paints. And she says that she'll purposefully put herself in like a dark place in her mind while she's painting, and that she's taught herself how to get back out of it. But I don't know if I can do that, or I haven't learned that yet.
Yeah.
So I think that's interesting.
But I don't know if I have an emotion that I like draw from regularly. I feel like, I mean, the idea of my two like main narratives is very much like the idea of courage. Like when it's getting lost, it's a lot of times about like courage and fear, you know, and then finding home. A lot of times it's about it's a positive message about like warmth,
Right.
and finding a group of people that you really, you know, feel at home in.
Right.
But there's definitely negative storylines that I follow within that same narrative that are, you know, about negative things that happen in homes.
Right.
And a lot of times those are, you know, based on fear as well. So I don't know, fear, friendship,
Yeah.
courage.
Yeah.
Those probably are the. I don't know if friendship is an emotion, but you know what I mean.
Right.
Philadelphia love. That's brotherly love. So yes. Next question. Oh, that was by. I already said Ariane Camps. I think. Yeah. So Dabrowski's artist. Says, how are pencils made?
That's a good question.
So first you take a tree and you chop it down because they're infected by a disease. And then you shove pressed hardened carbon with clay through a tiny hole, and then you sharpen it.
Interesting.
As a pencil maker for the last 35 years, I'll tell you that is spot on what I just said.
It's crazy because Savior Fair, they're like a kind of distributor of a bunch of different smaller groups of art supplies. They sell Faber-Castell and what's the other ones? Anyways, they have a bunch of different types of like products, but they said that there's a specific brush that is made in a tiny island in Japan. Every brush is like incredibly expensive, but it's like it's only made by these like super ancient Japanese women. And
what does that mean?
What do you mean?
What do you mean by ancient Japanese women?
Ancient, like they're 300 years old at least. And anyway, they're made by like these old ladies.
Okay.
These old Japanese ladies.
Old. These extra wise Japanese ancient women. Like,
But so they have to go through an apprenticeship, and they can't even fully make a brush until they've gone through that apprenticeship for 10 years. And that is when they are allowed to make one of these brushes.
How much do these people get paid?
I don't know.
It'd be hilarious if they get paid shit.
Yeah.
It's like, and then you get to make $5 an hour.
I hope not.
Yeah.
But that was like, that's how they market these. Like, they're like these watercolor brushes. I don't remember what they're called. One of the guys from Savior Fair brought me one, and it was like, oh, you know, like
it was in the
angels
Quentin
were
Tarantino
singing.
case.
Oh, yeah.
The Pulp
Like
Fiction case.
Yeah. He like, I don't think I haven't even used it after he told me that story. It's like, I'm not going to use it. No.
What the fuck?
It's a watercolor brush, and I don't paint in watercolor.
Oh, okay. Well,
But it's like, I will never use that brush.
why not?
I'm going to like literally frame it and put it up
That is
somewhere.
the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Blake Newbert would agree.
Why?
He said the same thing. He says he has these really beautiful brushes that he will never use, knowing that they're expensive.
That is ridiculous. If you ever get anything expensive, if you get an expensive toy, play with it. If you get an expensive car, drive it. If you get expensive shoes, wear it. If you get expensive bidets, let it clean your butthole.
Which we have.
Which we've gotten. The toilet paper. God damn it.
There you go.
I fucking suck at this game.
By the way, everybody should definitely get a bidet. It's absolutely lovely. And anybody who doesn't have one is a barbarian.
Yeah.
Which we have been until...
Peasant people. we've realized that we're just better than some people now that we have a bidet. People just walking around with shit in their ass, and
just little poop particles hanging off of their butthole hairs.
Disgusting. I just look at people differently now. No matter how much hand sanitizer you put. Was that a word?
I'm pretty sure.
Damn it! You put on. You still can't change the fact that you're just walking around with poop in your butt.
In your butt, and you're in between your butt cheeks.
Yep.
But at least Josh and I have clean ones.
Whistle.
We can eat off of our butt cracks.
Yeah, our farts don't even sound the same. They sound like classy gentlemen going.
It is very lovely, though.
Yeah, but yeah, use it. You know what I mean? Don't buy expensive shit and not use it. I don't even understand that idea. You're gonna die with that brush in your casket?
Yes.
Well, you know. All right. Oh, we should also add pandemic into the list, by the way.
Okay.
Because I was gonna say it, and I was like, I shouldn't, and I was like, wait, that's not on the list. All right. So same. Dabrowski. I still don't know if I'm saying this right. I mean, shout out to Dabrowski's artist. He's one of my favorites to talk with on Instagram. But he also wrote, "In these dark times, is a digital solo show an option, and how would that work, or would you wait? Dawn."
A digital art show. Is that what he said?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't love that idea. Just because it's like, I don't know. I think that like somebody asked what Tony Gabaldi Brown, we ran into
Gabaldi.
So what's his name?
Gabaldi?
Gabaldi. Tony Gabaldi Brown.
Tony Gabutts Itch Brown. What is your problem?
I literally don't know how to say that.
You drank too much.
No, he didn't. It's just a very difficult name to say.
Tony Gabaldi.
Gabaldi.
Yeah.
Tony Gabaldi Brown. We ran into him yesterday. And he was asking us if we had any digital shows coming up. But it's like, there's just, I don't know. It's like, I don't like that idea. Like, I understand it, and I understand that everybody's trying to do their best, but there's still a ton of work that goes into it. It doesn't change the fact that you're missing something from not being able to see these pieces in person.
Right.
I think that, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, but I don't know if there's a better way to do it, because it's like, if you had a scheduled show, a lot of galleries are just pushing it back, but they're pushing it back not knowing if they can even push it back like that. You know, like, we don't know when things will go back to normal, when things will reopen. So it's like I understand the idea of doing kind of like a virtual show, but then I would not be stoked to have worked a year on quote unquote solo show, art show, or whatever, and then they're like, oh well, we're doing it virtually. Even like, I've heard, I know that somebody sold out a show. It's that one guy that you sent me, and he was selling his pieces for like $9-10 grand, and he pretty much sold out his show.
Yeah, he's a beast. I forget his name, but yeah.
I don't remember, but I think that it was something along those lines, or it was like right when everything was happening, like the show shut down, or I don't know, and people just like wanted to support him. And I think
he had a show before.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I don't like the idea of doing it like virtually, because it's like, you paint these for people to see. And I mean, I don't know, like,
to each their own.
One
of the things that I've been enjoying while this shit's been going on is kind of seeing how some artists are bigger hustlers and more creative with it than others.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's I'm not pee break.
Yes, please.
Okay. God damn it.
Sorry.
Oh, I didn't wait. All right, back. So I was saying just that it's been cool to kind of see the hustle in some artists versus others, and just kind of people adapting to the current environment.
Right.
And so, I mean, digital art shows, that might be fine. I think you really have to kind of think about it and how to execute it well. I mean, I feel like the issue is that whenever one person does something, everyone a lot of times people follow suit.
Yeah.
And so you just have an oversaturation of an idea, and they're all going to kind of be the same,
Right.
You know. So if you really want to like stand out, you really have to think about how you would want to see, I don't know, a digital art show or some shit like that,
Right.
You know? But yeah, I mean, yeah, it is. I mean, I'm not thinking about doing digital shows at all, but I'm very aware of the fact that people are stuck at home right now.
Right.
And that while you're stuck at home, you might be thinking about how to upgrade your home environment, let's say.
Right.
And I think it would be a misstep if a lot of artists weren't thinking about how to really make art show how it can improve a house.
Right.
You know, I think
Yeah, I mean, I've weirdly gotten a couple sales that I don't usually get
Right.
through this time, and people reaching out.
yeah, I think people are just kind of looking around like, oh, I really would like some artwork or
Right.
some shit right now.
Right.
And I think a lot of artists, I would highly recommend kind of if you have pieces in your house and your house looks cool, I would definitely show that off a bit because I
Yeah.
think just kind of having more Instagram visuals or wherever you're showing your shit at, having more people kind of see how much a piece of art can change a room
That's true.
can only help artists in general.
Right.
You know, and so, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely thinking about that specifically, and I think there's probably going to be a decent amount of people who purchase art at this time to make their whatever they're staying at
Right.
a little bit more, you know,
Right.
kind of feel cooler or whatever the fuck they're going for.
Right. Well, we've definitely been doing that because it's like being at home, and you are. This is where we're spending all of our time.
Right.
So it's like we want it to feel good,
Right,
you know.
yeah.
So it's like like one thing that I've been focusing on is my plants.
Right.
And I went and bought this beautiful plant yesterday. And when we went over to the nursery, let's just say I was happy to be covering my face. And there was a ton of people there. It's just like everybody is running to the nursery. Everybody's running to go to Home Depot to work on their homes, you know?
Yeah. There was probably a lot of people buying rugs and furnitures. And,
Yeah, which is exactly what we've been doing,
and,
you know?
fixing little spots here
But
and there in the house.
it's needed, you know. It's
Yeah.
like it's keeping us sane. It's keeping us like
Busy.
it's also like uplifting us. Like
Right.
we're excited to see our little house like coming to life
Right.
while we're at home, you know.
For
It's
sure.
like if anything I mean, we're spending a little bit of money that we probably shouldn't be spending, but like it's still like we are forced to be here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like take advantage of the fact that, or take some pride in your little living space, you know?
And know that there's a lot of people out there doing that. And art can really be a part of that,
Exactly.
like kind of like uplifting or positive bit of like the positive little bits of their life right now in this time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you know, take advantage of people is what I'm trying to say. I'm just kidding, but yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, you know, there's a lot of good going around, and a lot of people figuring out how to make ends meet if they're full-time artists, and just kind of you have to at some point put on a bit of a marketing brain or a bit of a salesman type brain,
Yeah.
no matter how much we fucking hate it,
Yeah.
to, tackle, that financial loss you might have because of all the shit.
Yeah.
So online gallery show, I'm not against it.
Right.
I would like to see someone that does it good and be like,
Right.
you nailed it.
Right.
No one thought of that. And
It's
you
almost
definitely
like
did.
like I think what could be really interesting is for artists to do that on their own terms. Like say like we didn't have any shows coming up or whatever. It's like, well, I'm going to work on a show. I'm going to hang it in my art studio and I'm going to do a virtual art show. Like I think that would be really cool because you can set it up exactly how you want. If you have like a home studio or any type of studio space that you've got on your own, like you can just make it really interesting and do things that you may not be able to do at a gallery. Like I think that would be a very unique way to approach it. Like if you wanted to do a really interesting installation or whatever, and like galleries aren't just not an option right now. Like I think that could be really interesting. But what I'm saying is like I think it'd be very difficult for like say like that show in New York if I were to ship all my pieces and them to be like, well, due to all the stuff going on, we're going to do it digitally. Then I would be like, no, I'm not going to sign up for that because I just
wouldn't sign up for because with the assumption that they would take 50%.
Exactly.
Unless they were a gallery that really has a huge collector base, especially an online collector base. And then you'd be like, yeah, let's do it. And you probably wouldn't even have to ship it. You would just try to take great photographs. And then have them posted and then
yeah, I think that could be actually something really fun and interesting for artists to be like, hey, like we're all at home, we're all painting. Let's do like a virtual kind of like art walk. And
I'm sure people are doing that.
Yeah, probably. I think that could be fun. The problem with like Instagram is like they've got poor video quality, so it's something. So it's like it's difficult. Like and everybody's going live right now. Like everybody on Instagram is like going live. But it'd be. I mean, I like the idea. It's almost like you would want to try and market it so that you get a lot of. You know what's really interesting? Sea walls, which is
Crypt walls.
God, what are they like? See, they're like with Pangea seed, and I they have something to do with like powwow or something like that. But you know how like a bunch of mural festivals have been shutting down. They're doing an at-home mural fest where and I'm like, I kind of want to apply to it, but I'm just like trying to focus on our artwork right now. I don't really want to try and figure out a home mural, but I like that idea. Like I'm very tempted, but I just don't want to like. I mean, I could try and like paint the side of my house, but I'd rather focus that time and energy towards these pieces for the show. But I like that concept. I like I think what they're doing is very interesting, and having like all these muralists kind of do like an at-home mural festival, and I'm assuming it'll be somewhat digital. Like I think that's really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, that's the shit I'm talking about. I mean, everyone's got their little bit of, way of doing something. Like I know Felicia's like doing like send me $10 Venmo and it's a raffle for an original piece. And I know Heatherine, I saw like a couple days ago, she posted like a painting, and she sells a lot of work online, I believe. But just like the simple thing of like explaining to the Instagram following like it's hard to purchase original work online because it's hard to kind of gauge how it looks in real life. So she was like, here's a video. And she was kind of going and showing, kind of like key components to how the texture of the paper might feel or things like that.
That's
but it's just kind of like really explaining why it might be tough to buy a piece and then showing how you're trying to tackle that problem.
That's really smart.
It's like little things like that. There's no like gimmick or anything. It's just the idea of like what are the issues, and how do I solve them? I mean, these are like the little things where you really see, you separate the women from the little girls. Stay woke, everyone.
I find that very offensive.
Why? If I would have said the men from the boys, would that
have been better? Yes,
that would have been sexist.
That would have made me feel better.
Felicia.
That would have made me feel a lot better.
We were just talking about Heather and Felicia. I mean, it's like that's why I read some men from the boys. All right, so we have one last question.
Okay.
It is from Azul Viz, and it says, "Should I get a dog?"
Yes, absolutely. Get all of the dogs. What kind of dog? All the dogs. Get all of them.
There you go. Or not. Or don't.
We just took our dog to the vet today, and it's just expensive having a purebred. We have a purebred Neapolitan Mastiff, and he has just all the skin issues that you
and
can
all
ever.
the skin.
All the skin and all the skin issues.
Yeah.
He's so expensive. It's funny because one of my coworkers called me and told me that he's getting $1,700 for the stimulus, and because he's got a kid, and we each get $1,200 because we don't. But it's like Mellow is so expensive. I bet you anything we pay more to have Mellow than we would to have a child.
No, that's not true.
It is true. He is so expensive. You do not pay for Mellow.
Okay, so I think the average kid in America costs $15,000 a year.
We probably pay at least that for Mellow
No way.
year. Yes. He's so expensive.
Okay.
He is very expensive, but still, I love him and I want more. I was thinking about that. We've been watching a lot of reality TV, which has been like awful and amazing at the same time.
It's so funny because it's like I feel like a lot of people are watching the news, watching like fucking sick movies, like fucking
like
what's that movie called?
you tell me.
God, it has to do with like shit spreading. I forget what it's called. I honestly don't remember.
It starts with a P.
No, that's not what the movie I'm thinking of. No, it's not.
Anyway,
No.
we've been watching a lot of reality TV because we're not trying to like bring ourselves even further into like a depression hole of like news and
Well,
like.
I mean, I don't really suffer from depression at
Right.
all. But just kind of like not really
Focusing on the negative,
Yeah, not
yeah.
really trying to focus on the negative and drive myself a little wonky brain.
Yeah, which
from
a lot
it.
of people are. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, let me just watch pretty people try to fall in love. Like, that sounds hilarious right now.
Horrible, like
And then
very.
just judge the shit out of them and be like, they're the worst kind of people.
We
Like,
went to bed at like 4 a.m. yesterday, just watching the worst people in the entire world
Well, you know
try
what's funny
to
is,
not
like-
have sex with each other.
like when we go out and about, right?
Yeah.
We usually do that. Like we usually
judge
judge
people.
people a bit.
Right.
Like, God damn, those people fucking suck at driving. Or,
Yeah.
oh, that's so stupid. Why'd that person do that?
We're getting our fix through
and
these
so
shows.
we're just watching like dumb people.
That's very true. We're just horrible people, I guess.
Yeah, we're horrible people. What can you do?
I know. I always love like It's Always Sunny because I feel like I am part of their group.
Well, the thing is like I feel like artists we're extremely perceptive, you know, and we're just always watching people and watching things and just observing and noticing like the ridiculous and the beauty and all these like different things.
Yeah.
And so like I feel like a lot of artists in general are a bit like what we are. We're a bit judgy and a bit like fucking idiots. Stop being stupid.
The one person in my head that does it perfectly is Monty Guy. And he like, if it's just like, it's the only other person that I think like you and I, obviously like we're married, we know each other and we'll like catch things, but he does too. Like he's the one person like I think that I can think of that will catch the same things that we catch, but he might take it like a step further or kind of twist things around
He
so
just
that
has a different perspective than we
yes, yeah, but he'll like catch the same things we do.
do. Yeah.
It's
I mean,
just
I
kind
feel
of
like there's a lot
hilarious.
of people like that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's why Always Sunny exists. You know what I mean?
We've been watching a lot of like trashy reality TV.
Horrible.
It's been awful. Like I feel like
guilty pleasure shit to the fullest.
Absolutely. It's just like the worst group of people living their lives and we're just judging the shit out of them.
Yeah, it's driving me nuts not remembering the name of that fucking movie I'm thinking of, which you think is Demic Pan.
Yeah,
it's
I
not.
can't watch. Like I don't usually
Contagion.
like. Contagion. Oh, okay.
Figured it out. Fuck yes. Brain, relax. You got this.
Yeah.
But yeah. The
It's funny though, because it's like the thing I keep on thinking is like we've been dealing with some family stuff amongst all this
which
all
has
this
been
other
worse
stuff.
than this
It's
shit.
been taking precedence over any other stuff. If that weren't happening, I don't know how I would feel about this, because this all like it's kind of
I
like,
feel like it would be way more productive.
you think
The
so?
first month
I don't
of
know.
this whole shit, we were just dealing with shit nonstop.
Right. And I
So-
don't know if I would be more anxious about everything happening or more like sleepless nights or whatever.
This shit doesn't give me anxiety at all.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't now. I don't know if it's because of all the other family stuff going on, or if I
No,
just
it's
wouldn't
because we
be.
kind of are like, cool, we get to paint and
Probably,
hang out and
yeah.
paint and draw and focus on our art shit full
Yeah.
time in our house full time.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is how normal people's houses feel because they get to clean all the time.
Right.
We get to clean and paint.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just,
I've been very happy.
yeah.
I've been very, very
We've
happy.
been really good. I mean,
Yeah.
for sure there's people out there that have shit situations.
I'm sure.
You know, like
I
people
mean,
in like
even though-
tiny apartments all by themselves. You're like,
I'm also
fuck.
like,
You feel like you might feel like you're in prison.
right.
you
Well,
know,
it's
but-
funny because it's like a couple of my coworkers have been reaching out, and I've got friends reaching out, and
Right.
it's like I feel like I'm the perfect mix of extrovert introvert. Like it's like that one line
It's a
from.
ridiculous thing to say, but go on.
Well, it's like the
I'm the perfect mix of extrovert, introvert.
Because-
no big deal.
well, because it's a line that here I have it on my Instagram. Antisocial extrovert. It's a line that what's his name?
It sounds like
Not
not an oxymoron. I guess an oxymoron.
say
Yeah, it sounds like an-
antisocial extrovert. What's his name? The one that
mumble.
no, it's God. What's his name? It's the biggest rapper right now. The one you love.
Kanye West.
No, the other one.
The one I love.
Photoshop.
Oh, Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar. Yeah, in one of his raps, he's like, "I'm an antisocial extrovert," and I thought
Kind of an oxymoron.
it's perfect though.
No, it's not.
I love it because it's like I love being around people, but I also truly love my own me time,
I think
my
you
own
don't-
space.
I don't think you understand what an introvert and extrovert is.
Probably not.
You should probably just look them up and be like, oh, I thought they were things that. Because yesterday we ran into Tony yesterday.
And
We talked to him, and you were like, "You're an extrovert," and I was like, "No, he's not. I'm almost positive he's not."
Well, I don't know. It's just like I like being
Because
social.
I'm an introvert, and I never thought I was
Really?
because I enjoy like hanging out with friends and shit. But
Yeah.
when I read the definitions, I was like, "Oh, okay, that's what I am." But it's like,
yeah, I would think that you're way more extroverted than I am.
just read what the fuck they mean, read what the fuck they are, and then all of a sudden you're like, "You have to pee again."
Yes. Sorry.
My God.
Okay, you chose.
All right, so I forgot where the fuck I was because pee break person.
Right. Well, I was saying that like my coworkers having a really tough time, like not being at work, not seeing us on a regular basis.
Uh-huh.
And I do miss my friends, but I'm actually like, I mean, we're only a month in. Like, who knows how long this is gonna go? But I absolutely love just being at home. But I think
Yeah,
I'm
me
more
too.
like that than you are. Like, I could go a very long time with not seeing people,
Yeah,
even
but
though
it's not. It's an. I can't remember. I remember looking it up, but I know an extrovert and introvert, they're very different than what I thought they were. And I think one of the big things is like it doesn't necessarily mean you like to be at home versus being out. It's just like
connecting with
It's-
people or something.
yeah, it's how you like talk to like strangers and shit like that. It's like
Oh,
you
I
know,
love talking to strangers.
where like I hate people most of the time. Like most of the time, if I'm in a situation where I don't know anyone,
Yeah.
I most likely won't talk to anyone.
Right.
You know, it's like that kind of shit. But if I'm
Right.
at a party where I know everyone,
You're gonna talk to everybody.
I'll talk to everyone all
Right.
night long.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
But that doesn't make you an extrovert. It just makes you, you know,
friendly.
Yeah, it's that's
Huh.
it almost makes you an introvert because you
right.
only like talking.
No, I definitely
people you know.
like talking to strangers and meeting new people.
Yeah.
But I also, I feel like you're more drawn to go out and about than I am.
Right. Well, I mean, I definitely enjoy going out with like
Yeah.
friends and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just not that doesn't. I'm almost. I might be dead wrong, but I'm almost positive that doesn't make you an extrovert versus an introvert.
Mm.
It's the idea of how you interact with people.
That makes sense.
But
But yeah, I mean, I love being at home with just us two.
yeah, me too.
Like, I really, really
And
enjoy
mellow.
it. And mellow, yeah. I
And
mean, I
garbage.
think it'd be nice to have just like one more dog.
That seems like it would be one too many. You know what I mean? Or maybe a half too many. So if you can get like half a dog, like maybe the back half.
But yeah, I mean, I've actually really, really enjoyed this time. Yeah, I don't know. I really I don't like the idea of going to a store in fear. So that's the one thing.
Right.
But other than
But
that,
we
like,
also get to like judge people in that moment. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Just sit and judge. We got our judgment fix. Look at that motherfucker. Just
you know what's funny is like going shopping. Like, there's a weird people shopping. People that I've never seen shopping are shopping.
There's a lot of people that are in an anime who are like,
yeah.
I owned a fucking mask for the last 5 years, and now I'm gonna go out in my little. I'm sure there's a name for it, but when they fucking wear like schoolgirl outfits and a
Cosplay?
mask,
Maybe cosplay.
sure. I don't fucking know, but I feel like there's a lot of those type of folks out. Like, there's a lot of people that are like they probably get value from other people's attention.
Yeah,
so
maybe.
we'll go to like a Target, and there's like a lady who's just like.
Dressed to the nines.
Yeah, just to the 9.5, and she's just like, "Look at me," because it's like
The only time you go out,
to
yeah.
a club or some shit. So it's
Yeah, it's been weird. Every time we've gone shopping, it's like, it's not just that. Like, I feel like I've noticed like men that seem a little out of place. Like, I don't know, like some, like they don't really, like we've noticed it a couple times where people are just kind of looking around, like unsure of where they are.
do you think they're like government?
No,
secret
I think
operatives, or
I
what do you-
think what it is that they're not used to going shopping. Usually,
right,
it's
right,
like
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
their wife or somebody else
Yeah.
normally does the shopping.
Well, I feel like this happened in the very beginning, when I think everything was a bit questionable, as if you could get food from a restaurant, and I think a lot of people buy food from restaurants,
Right.
And so we went to the grocery store, and just like people that just had no idea how to go grocery shopping.
But we even like yesterday or the day before, I don't remember the last time we went shopping, but I noticed that there was like a young man, maybe like our age, if not a little older, but youngish. He seemed like a dad type or something, but completely just like, I'm gonna grab this. Like,
right.
he had no idea what he was doing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I get
It's
it.
just kind of
It's definitely-
interesting.
Yeah. Super interesting.
Yeah.
But they probably just eat a lot of
Right,
restaurants.
right.
Or like a lot of fast food or a lot
Yeah.
of whatever. And they probably don't trust fast food eating or something like that now.
Right.
And so they're having to cook for themselves. I mean, even with us, we cook a lot, but it's like
We're
like
definitely
buying
cooking a lot.
yeast and shit, which like we've never bought. And we're like, let's see if we can make some bread or some
Right,
shit. You know,
right.
it's like,
And you made biscuits the other day, which
Yeah.
you've never made. It's been fun. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been fun to cook at home. I definitely need to try and look up some other recipes to try.
yeah. But
But-
it's that like, it's that weird thing of we have we have excess amount of time we have more time than we usually have, and we have to cook at home. So it's like,
Let's make it interesting.
let's see what we usually. Usually we like play around maybe every once in a while, but for the
Right.
most part we try to keep it simple to like eat food and
Get on with the day.
get on with the day.
Yeah.
So it's been cool to kind of have a little extra time to go like, oh, I always wanted to learn how to make this or that.
Did we? And this is
By the
just.
way, quick shout out to Trader Joe's almond croissants that you bake at home.
Oh my god, they're
Fire.
amazing.
Okay, go on. Sorry.
This is off subject, but did we ever talk about our neighbor that got murdered?
No, Okay, yeah. So this is
Just because we just saw we are in our living room and I just saw the stepdad like walk across the street.
Yeah. So
and-
during this coronavirus,
You said it.
God damn it, that was
I
loud too.
haven't-
You said it really.
Sorry. I haven't said, I'm getting a little buzzed and I haven't like fucked up once.
Oh wow.
And you've done it several
Wow.
times. And this was your idea.
That's why you're an extrovert. You know what I mean? They say when you're an extrovert, you don't fuck up once when you play drinking games.
That's true. So let me tell the story.
All right, go on.
The week that we got in the shutdown, I don't know, was shutdown a word?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna drink.
I'm just kidding.
I don't think it was.
I don't think it was either. But let me tell.
It was a Tuesday that we got the like Nixle alert or whatever, the alert from the city.
Nixle was also on. So go ahead, take that.
That was not on the list. And then, so, Wednesday, we all kind of like stayed at home. And then that Friday, Josh was saying like, listen, there's a lot of people in our driveway. It's kind of weird. I wonder if somebody died.
I said something bad happened.
Yeah, Josh said something bad
like,
happened
something
because
next door happened and it was bad.
Yeah.
I don't know what, but it's bad.
Yeah, and so we live in a cul-de-sac and then like an off branch of our cul-de-sac.
We live in a cul-de-sac.
Yeah, we live in a cul-de-sac,
Yeah.
like another like little branch off because we live
The
in
sack of the cul-de-sac.
the ball sack of the cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
So yeah, we live in like this weird nook that like we already were a nook when we moved in here, and they made it even more nooky.
Nookier.
More nooky.
Nookier. They made it nookier.
And added more housing behind us into like this abandoned field. So anyway, the neighbors in front of us, we have like a weird kind of runoff of road.
See,
And
this is where I have issues with how
it was
MJ tells stories.
completely blocked. Like there was nowhere, like if I wanted to leave that day, there was nowhere to leave.
Right.
And I'm, Josh always calls me a Karen
Yeah.
because I'll
Corona
be the,
Karen. God damn.
I like always ask for the manager. And I'm always like
Pass
the
me
first
Are
to
you going to drink that whiskey?
No.
Pass that over here.
I'm always like the first to complain about things. So I was going to go over there very rudely and tell them that to move their cars because we used to have issues with our old neighbors that would block us in. But anyways, Josh came and told me something bad happened next door. And I went out and spent about 3 hours just sitting on the very edge of our fence trying to listen.
MJ's a snooper.
Yes. And I couldn't figure anything out. I just knew that somebody had died and something bad had happened. And it wasn't until that Monday that we realized that our neighbor had gotten stabbed to death. She was 34 years old. Her name was Sylvia. She was this gorgeous, like Latin woman who had been in gang life,
Right.
had
So it was this story is like a real true tragedy. It
Yes.
really is. So yeah, she was like a delinquent youth, like where she didn't graduate high school. She joined a gang very young. And then she was able to like graduate high school through the Santa Rosa GED program. And then from there, she like went to the JC in our town. And from there, she got accepted into Berkeley.
got her master's.
Got her master's at Berkeley.
Yeah.
Came back. And then started working with at-risk youth because of her
Trying to be like an advocate
Right.
and like somebody for them to look up to.
Right, with the assumption that she probably got the help. She got help. She probably got help from someone to set her on the right course.
Right.
And she was like trying
wanna
to
give
pay it
back.
back.
Yeah.
Like let me do what other people did for me. This is all assumptions, but
Yeah.
it's like, and then so she worked with at-risk youth, a lot of them with mental health,
Yeah.
and it took the darkest turn possible.
Yeah, and I never really. So there are neighbors. They've been here for maybe like 2 years at this point. Like it's been a while. We've lived at this house for 6.
Right.
And Josh actually spoke to them a lot more than I did because his studio, like our garage, is his studio space. So he spends a lot of time outside,
Right.
where I spend a lot of time inside. So he was way more kind of like friendly with the group, and I had never really talked to her at all, but you know, we knew something bad had happened, and that was on Friday, and I spent like every day up until Monday trying to figure out what happened and looking on the news and kind of refreshing to see if anything came up. And then we found out that she had gotten stabbed to death by an 18-year-old kid that she was kind of like advocating for. So she was you know, I think she was like a mentor at this place, and she was trying to help these kids and like lead them down the right path. And for a month, she had been telling her boss and like other coworkers, like, listen, this kid keeps on threatening me. He's saying he's trying to hurt me. He's trying to stab me. Later, we found out that this kid, he's only 18. He's schizophrenic. He had told her openly, like, I have these thoughts of stabbing you and killing you. And she had voiced it to her superiors. Now, the crazy thing is that my coworker used to work at this same location, and she used to get very similar threats. I don't know if it's just like a reoccurring theme of mental health. Like, there's a lot of people who suffer from mental health that this specific group is trying to help. Mm-hmm. But my coworker said that she used to work there and get similar threats, and she reported it and got fired for reporting it.
We should probably be a little careful, because whatever we say might be, you know.
I mean, it's fact.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway.
I'm just trying not to catch a lawsuit or some shit. But yeah.
I mean, it's, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Fuck it.
It's fact. You know, they all, and eventually, so anyways, this lady ended up, you know, voicing her fear, voicing these threats, and the kid ended up stabbing her to death. And it's just really sad and brutal. She was an amazing single mother, very strong, and just trying to help her community and help kids that she saw herself in.
Right. Yeah.
It's been probably a month now, and I just don't know, like, me as their neighbor, my plan is to go buy some flowers and go, you know, send my condolences. The problem is that we're not that close, and I feel kind of weird, like knocking on their door. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna like set flowers on their stoop or something and say like, hey, you know, our condolences, like, love your neighbors type of thing. But it's hard because it's like we're not that close where she would have come and like given me a hug or something and said like, oh, you know, I don't know. It's just like, I'm just gonna do the least I can. And I don't know if like I can even offer to paint a portrait of their daughter for any, because it sounds like they're trying to fight this as well. Like on their cars, it says justice for Sylvia and stuff like that. And I don't know if they could use like a portrait of Sylvia for something. And
I don't know.
Like, I don't know how to offer my services, because I'd be happy to do that. It's like nothing. But yeah, it's just another.
But they might be like, well, we want a portrait done by Josh. I mean, then you'll feel dumb. Be like, I'll see if he's okay with that. Too soon.
It's just really sad. And it's sad amongst all the already craziness happening.
I know. It's been nuts. This whole like little section. It's weird because coronavirus, god damn it. And I'm drinking whiskey, so it's straight. So it's.
You just started drinking straight whiskey. You were drinking just as much as I was prior to this. Prior to that whiskey you're sipping on, we've had the same amount to drink.
No, not true.
Yes, we have.
No, I poured a shitload of vodka.
And I poured a shitload of whiskey into my hot toddy.
How much?
This much.
Lie.
I swear. I put hella whiskey into my hot toddy. Yes.
Yeah, damn. Wild one. Whatever. Not anyway, a competition, bro. You know what I mean?
Yes, it is. Everything's a competition here.
I've also been drinking a White Claw because I'm trying to get White Claw wasted. We had a couple more questions. Should we go on from there? Man.
Anyways, R.I.P. Sylvia.
R.I.P. Sylvia. I don't know if they have a GoFundMe at all.
They do.
Did they reach their goals?
I'm not sure. I'll look at it.
Yeah, if they haven't, we can post it on our shit so people can support.
Yeah, she has 2 kids.
Yeah.
That are still living next door.
We sent them money, right?
No, not yet.
I thought we were.
You told me to wait.
Did I?
Yes.
Oh, well, I think we had like some, because of the family shit, we had some like.
Well, we have hella extra expenses from that.
Extra expenses from it. So it was like, oh, I think we just spent like a bunch of money, and it was like,
Yeah.
just chill for a second.
Yeah.
Because we can't lose our house.
Right.
Trying to help everyone.
Oh, by the way, we own our home, and if you also own your home and have put your house on a forbearance due to all the shit happening,
What's happening?
all the shit,
I don't know
all the
what you're talking
shits, all the stuffs.
about. Okay.
Anyway, I would definitely call your bank because the minute I heard about it, I immediately hopped on it and had like the 3-month hold put on it. But definitely, you have to be very careful with these things and know that the banks aren't really on your side.
Yeah, be very cautious.
Be very cautious because we
went down that rabbit hole, and then we
very quickly found out, well, not quickly because I was on the phone for like 7 hours, but you realize that they're not on your side for all that stuff.
I mean, this isn't some conspiracy theory type shit. This is just us talking to a shitload of bank people till we get to the right person who can answer the questions that no one was answering, and then realizing that it's kind of fucked. But either way, so one of the questions is, what is the blue thing that you use in your paintings? I don't know what they're talking about. Are they talking about blue tape?
Yeah, probably tape.
Yeah.
Blue tape is the shit.
Blue tape is the shit.
Yeah, I just realized like I really want to play with it, but I've seen artists do a lot of really cool things with blue tape, but the really, really skinny blue tape, and there's a bunch of different sizes. And I think that would be really interesting to play with because you can make some really cool line work and different kind of effects with the really, really skinny blue tape.
Yeah. Yeah. Or just X-Acto knife it. There's like whatever. So then Erica Lee Sears said, when am I going to be on the podcast?
I don't know who that is.
When we're in Portland, I think I'm planning on reaching out.
Nice. Hopefully we'll be there in the next few months.
Mm-hmm.
So
hopefully.
probably
we were
soon.
supposed to be there. I don't know.
We were supposed to be there next month, but
week
it's
after coronavirus. We were supposed to go, right?
You said coronavirus. Then now I said
Damn
it.
Yes. We real fucked up that time. You were fucking killing it.
The whole time I have to pee in.
God damn it, pee again. All right, back. Okay, so the next question was from Stephen Russell Black. Shout out.
Nice.
It says, how does MJ put up with your shenanigans?
I love talking to Steven. Steven's really fun to talk to for like admin, like kind of like marketing stuff. He's very in tune with that. Was trying to do a YouTube, so definitely go check out Stephen Russell Black and his YouTube channel.
He also said I didn't finish reading his question.
Go ahead.
So it said, how does MJ put up with her shenanigans?
Mm-hmm.
Or is she, in fact, the instigator? That is very easily. Oh, and he said, love you all.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for the love, Stephen. Also, she is the instigator. Thank you for asking.
I definitely like, I definitely do things to push Josh's buttons. And we got in an argument. Was it this week?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And it's like,
well, last week. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, I think I push it too far sometimes, but, I've definitely like, I've always just been like that. I like pushing people's buttons and kind of like making them uncomfortable and seeing people's reactions to making them uncomfortable. But I think I take it too far sometimes.
And I do too, but, sometimes you gotta like read the room. You know
right.
I mean, I think we're both kind of that type of person. I feel like I usually do it verbally. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Like if you say if you stumble over your words,
right.
That's one of my favorite things to go like to just kind of make fun of,
right?
Or let you figure out on your own while we all laugh,
right?
Whoever that may be,
yeah.
But yeah, I think we're both a bit of PCs,
yeah,
and instigators and. Yeah, full of shenanigans.
That's the only way that it would work out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. Well, I think that's all the questions, at least now. So, anyone who didn't sneak in while you did, so sad, too bad. Well, we still have about 30 minutes to record, so maybe we'll look at it at the very end.
And if nobody does it, then that's too bad.
Yeah. One of the interesting things that we might do with this podcast is that we might record a couple. I haven't talked to Sergio about this, so he might be hearing about this right now. But Blake Newbert reached out and he's like, "Hey, let's do an online,
Like a Skype.
like a Skype type." Did I just rhyme my rapper?
Skype type.
Skype type right. Type episode, obviously because he's in Denver.
Yeah.
Or near Denver or wherever he is. So yeah, we might set that up soon, which would be a really fun thing to do.
Yeah.
I just did John Wentz's Lo-Fi podcast. For anyone who hasn't listened to that, definitely go listen to that. I mean, the reason we kind of made a podcast was because, or at least on my end, was because I wanted John Wentz to make one. I've said this enough times, but
Yeah.
now that he has, I'm super happy about it, and I love listening to it. So I was on it recently, and but yeah, he does it kind of over the
Like
web.
Skype. Yeah.
So I did that, and I was like, oh, that was pretty fun.
Right.
Especially if you know someone,
Right.
At least been around them and had a conversation.
It's kind of inevitable at these times too to do something along those lines. It's just
Yeah.
people are just not traveling, so it might have to be a direction that you guys go regardless.
Yeah, any of you listeners out there who haven't want us to do that, let us know. It might definitely make us.
It might open doors to different people that you weren't able to have on the podcast before.
Yeah.
Because it's
I mean,
always
when
like
all this ends, I think I still kind of really enjoy
the one-on-one, like face to face.
meeting
Yeah.
people face to face.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, because it's. I mean, how are we going to do that? Me and Sergio are going to sit next to each other in front of a computer
Right.
once a week.
Right.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
We would still have to work out some details.
Yeah.
But yeah, that might be something soon. And maybe Sergio, I don't know. We'd have to work out all the details.
Yeah.
I don't know how the 3-person thing works online.
I don't know.
I have no idea. But yeah. So
It'll be interesting.
We're trying to figure out this whole shit and how to still create some waiting to dries
Yeah.
and some hopefully fun ones.
Yeah.
So yeah. Good
Yeah.
times.
On top of like reality TV, one thing I've been doing is watching like classic movies on my list of movies to watch.
Stop calling them classic movies.
They are classics. It's like cult classics that people always reference, but I'm Canadian. So I'm Canadian Nicaraguan.
Where were you born?
Miami, Florida.
Okay, that's America. We bleed red, white, and blue here.
But I didn't move here till I was like 12.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. There's just a bunch of movies that I have not seen. And two of the big ones that I watched recently was Misery.
Yeah, which, I mean.
Is that not like an American classic?
I don't know. It's like.
People always reference that movie and I never knew what the hell they were talking about.
They're only referencing the moment the lady breaks a leg.
Right, but I mean, they're referencing the movie and I had never seen it.
Just watch that part and be like, all right, I get it.
I also love that actress. And then I watched.
They're actually called actors.
I love that actor.
Thank you. What's his name?
They name?
Hey,
I don't remember.
Hey, watch it.
And then Natural Born Killers with Woody Harris. Is that his name?
Woody Harris.
Is that his name?
Woody.
I know his name is Woody. I don't remember his last name.
What's his last name?
Harrelson.
Harrelson. Yep.
What is it?
No, you nailed it. And now you guys got to experience what I was talking about. When MJ says something wrong, and we just get to let her work it out.
Is that not? It's not Harrelson.
Oh, you nailed it. Yeah, Harrelson.
God damn it. Woody Harrelson. But those are the two. It is Harrelson. Woody Harrelson.
I know.
Okay. Yeah, but those are the two kind of like old classic movies, and I've got a list of still like 20 to watch.
Mm-hmm. So what's next on the list?
I've got So Money. Let's see.
I'll tell you what you can skip and what you should watch.
Well, Singing in the Rain.
Never watched it.
I've seen it before, but not since I was little because I used to only watch musicals.
Mm-hmm.
Fargo the show. I think I've only seen season 1, but what are there, like 3 or 4 seasons?
3.
Yeah, I've only seen like, and I'm not even sure if I've gone all the way through
I'm
season
almost
1.
positive you've never watched the full first season.
Yeah. Crimson Peak, I've heard. I'll also write down who recommended it. And I don't know who recommended Crimson Peak. Psycho, the original, because I've only seen, I think, the remake with Vince Vaughn. That's definitely not like the original Psycho.
Mm-hmm.
Devil in the White City, El Norte. Marie Antoinette, I've seen, but I want to rewatch. Big Fish, I want to rewatch. Rome series, I've heard is good. Give Up Tomorrow. Mulholland Drive, I've never seen. Search Party, The Big Sick, Out of Sight, 1998. Suicide Kings, Berserker, Along with the Gods. Did you recommend that movie?
What?
Along with the Gods?
No.
The Devil's Backbone, which is a Guillermo del Toro movie. I just downloaded that one.
How'd you download it?
Legally.
Okay, just checking.
13 Assassins, The Happening, Almost Famous, Roma. There's certain movies that I need to rewatch. The Never Ending Story being one of them. Terrace House, which
see, I always think when it comes to movies like Never Ending Story, it's like, I mean, just don't rewatch it.
I have to rewatch it.
Just let it be what it is.
I have to know if my fear of quicksand is valid or if it's based off of, because whenever I think of quicksand and I still have reoccurring nightmares, it's because of this movie. And
well, what
I
you
have
can
to
do is
see it again.
You can Google quicksand
It doesn't
deaths,
matter.
and you can realize that there's never been one recorded incident
I
of a quicksand
doubt
death.
it.
Google that shit.
The 90s tell me different.
And then you'll go, oh, the 90s were silly.
No.
You know what I mean?
Terrace House, Corey. Is it Corey or Corey? Cody Corey.
Oh yeah. No, it wasn't Cody. It was Bagger. Bagger was the one I watched.
But they both watched it.
Oh yeah. Cody Miles.
Yes, Cody Miles.
Cody was moving to Japan, so he watched it.
So that show, I'm very excited to watch.
Shout
It's
out.
always hard to sit down and watch like something with subtitles on, because even when we're watching and binge watching shows, it's like I still try and like do tablet stuff or something for the most part if I can.
Yeah.
So it's tough.
Okay, that was plenty. You don't have to keep going.
Yeah, my list is very long.
Your list is very long, and there's very few like classic or cult classic things on there.
I don't know about that.
It's just more a lot of those things like Fargo TV show. I don't know if that's a cult.
What about
classic.
Basic Instincts?
Sure.
Is that a classic?
Basic Instincts. Which one is that?
I don't know. I've never seen
Is
it.
that one Michael Douglas and Thingy? I don't remember. It's like I feel like I've seen so many movies and I'm so bad at remembering.
Says it's a 1992 film. Oh yeah, Michael Douglas. Sharon Stone. Yeah, I don't even know what this is about. But yeah, there's a bunch of movies that there's also shows like Seinfeld that I want to try and watch that I've never watched before. I know.
I feel like it's tough. Like maybe you like
but
it.
it's just like I feel like I've gone through my entire life missing all these like inside joke and like movie references that I just have not seen, and like I always feel like the one person that can't catch them.
Said aren't reference jokes.
I don't know.
I mean, there was a lot of, like, no one's going to reference fucking Fargo TV shows or, what was the Japanese
Basic Instinct,
show?
Terrace House.
Terrace House.
I
or
don't
some shit
know.
like-
I
You know,
just want to
what you
watch
should do
everything,
is-
so I'm never out of an inside
This
joke.
is what you do. You go to IMDb
Uh-huh.
and you go to 100 best movies of all time, and you just start checking away at those, and then you'll be pretty good for most references.
Hmm.
I mean,
So many of those movies are very depressing, though.
well, do you want to get references or not? You can't have it both ways. You can't say, like, I want to get references, and then, well, I don't want to watch those movies. I mean,
Yeah.
Have you watched all the Godfathers?
Yes.
Shawshank?
Yes.
I don't know. I can't remember. And there's a lot of Pixar.
Yeah.
There's a lot of I don't watch fucking. I tried watching when I was in high school. I tried watching. Was that Kubrick? I always forget his name. The guy that did 2001: Space Odyssey. Have you watched 2001: Space Odyssey?
Mm-mm. Is that one good?
It's a thing.
You know what movie I just watched
But
that
it
was
gets
on
referenced all the time.
Really?
And people love that fucking movie.
2000 Space Odyssey?
2001: Space Odyssey.
2001 Space Odyssey. I'm writing
When
it
you
down.
watch it, you'll be like, "Oh, I've seen reference to this."
Right.
It's all over the place. Just watch the director. Watch all of his movies. I mean, or not all, but like his greats.
Yeah.
Stanley. God, I'm a bit too buzzed, but it's Stanley Kubrick.
Kruber, Stanley Kruber.
I don't know. It's sounding weird.
Cooper. Stanley Cooper. It's not Kruber.
No, it's like Kubrick or some. God damn it!
Stanley Cooper.
No, that's not it.
Yes,
God
it
damn
is.
Stop fucking with me. Kubrick. It's still. I'm looking at the fucking name. I'm like Stanley Kubrick. Kubrick. I'm like, okay, well, the name is fucking hard to say. I've seen interview. He did these Stanley. Was it Stanley Kubrick?
Cooper.
Kubrick. He's the one that did Doctor Strangelove. Wait, did he do all these? I'm not fucking.
I wish we were more drunk.
2001: Space Odyssey, The Shining, Clockwork Orange, Eyes Wide
God.
Shut, Doctor Strangelove, Full Metal Jacket, Barry Lyndon. Have you seen any of these movies?
What were
Spartacus,
the first few? Orange Clockwork?
Clockwork Orange. I made you watch that one.
Yeah, that one was weird. You like prefaced it by it being really dark, which it was, but I don't feel like there's this one movie.
There's a dark rape scene in the
right.
film. It's, like,
But I think it
very
was
brutal.
right, but it was so dated that it was hard to like read it as real. I feel where I think that like there's some that like the movie the girl with the dragon tattoo is so fucking brutal that I've never been able to watch the entire movie. Like I had to if I like the rape scene in that movie, I had to fast forward through because I physically felt like I was gonna throw up.
I walked in the room the other day and you were watching it in slow-mo. Explain that, MJ.
I have not seen that movie in like 12 years.
Yeah. Did you watch the Russian one or the American one?
The American one. I heard the Russian one was even worse.
I watched the Russian one I don't know how long ago.
Was it? Did you watch it? Have you seen both?
I watched it so long ago I barely remember the movie.
Oh my God. Well, that one and the movie Monster, like the rape scenes in both of those movies are
I haven't watched both of them.
So awful that I get physically sick where I'm like, I feel like I might throw up and I cannot continue to watch this.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything visually that can affect me the way that affects you.
Yeah. The same thing with, God, what is the one with they're like the raping zombies?
The raping zombies.
Oh, God. They're like not
That's
really
not a
zombies. They're like mutants.
Oh, Hills of Eyes?
Hills of Eyes.
Yeah.
Those ones are so awful. Oh my God.
They're not even a good movie.
They're
It's
not.
just
It's just like that horror gore.
gore. What is it? God, we're too drunk. I think
gore
we drank too much.
gore porn.
Gore porn. Yeah. It's that like a weird. It's like Hostel. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
Hostel too.
Like those films that are like very hyper sexualized and hyper like just disgusting.
Yeah, I remember I told Josh this story, but there was this kid in high school. I was like probably 15 years old, and I got
What's his name? Did you love him?
his name was, I don't want to say his name, but I was tricked.
What's his first name?
I'm not going to say.
Why not?
Because I'm not.
Did you still love him?
I was tricked into going into like a date with him, and we ended up at the movies watching the movie Hostel, and I'm like, I'm gonna leave. And I think I had to have like, I'm like 15 at the time, and I had to have my mom pick me up at the movie theater.
What's his name?
I'm not gonna say his name.
Do I know him?
No.
God damn. And how long have you loved him? So was it Hostel that really brought you guys together?
It was awful. I'm like, I was furious because we were supposed to show up as a group, and then he's like, everybody flaked, and I'm like, what?
Right.
And then so it was just him and I, but everybody else like happened to flake, and we ended up watching that awful movie. Like the first like half of the movie is just porn, and like
the other half is like eyeballs getting popped out. And, like,
yeah, I couldn't watch it.
being...
I've still never seen that entire movie.
I'll try to watch it once a week to keep me grounded.
Yeah. There's still like a lot of films that I want to watch that I've been trying to do while in my home during this time. And
okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talk much.
But yeah, it's just it's been a lot less like films or like our old friend that we used to take when we used to take Mello to the dog park. There was this Irish lady that would go, and she would call them films.
All Irish people, I believe, call them films.
Films, but yeah, it's not so much films, but more so just trashy reality TV that we've been watching.
Yeah. It's been
very trashy. Yeah,
just tough. I mean, it's like I don't want to watch anything too
serious.
intense.
Yeah,
So I just want to watch shit and judge people.
yeah,
Just want to do hood rat shit with my friends.
yeah.
I just want to be a PC. I just want to, you know what I mean? I just want to learn how pencils are being made. Is that too much to be asked? Is that too much to ask for? But yeah, I think
it's been
we're
interesting.
getting pretty close. I feel like we're getting a bit too drunk, and I feel like most people have given up on what we're doing.
I hope not. This was very important.
It was important. It was all over the place. The fact that we talked about your movies for like way too long.
We didn't even. It was not that long.
I feel like it was like 8 years.
I wish that we were drunker. I've been watching a lot of Drunk History, and I find it adorable. And I feel like we could be just as adorable.
Oh, could we?
If we were drunker than what we are right now.
I am just as adorable sober as I am drunk.
This is true.
Thank you.
But I feel like you could just be that slightly more adorable if you were slightly more drunk.
I get a bit debatey when I get
That's
drunk.
true.
You don't want that, Josh.
That's true.
But yeah. I wish I knew the Sergio Corner question thing, so I could ask you.
Should we talk about... I just really want to talk about what he talked about on his...
Yeah, the gossip.
Yeah.
I know. Listening to Sergio and Vanessa's episode, I was like, God damn it, the juiciest part of this whole fucking podcast.
Yeah.
You guys sidestepped the shit out of it.
Right.
I was like, God damn it, I wish I was there.
I know. Well, it's funny because so basically what they were saying was that we had all this drama with a gallery here in town.
They didn't say we. They said he. They didn't say gallery either.
Right.
Let's sidestep their sidestep.
But wait, like the Waiting to Try audiences heard the story and us talk shit about the gallery.
What gallery? I don't know what you're talking about.
Did we talk about? We've named them, right?
Are you some kind of secret agent?
So it just feels like forever ago, and we've had so much art drama since then that like it feels like, when did this happen? Like 10 years ago?
I know.
We were just talking about that. It's like it feels like it happened like years ago, but it was just like last year because we've had like way more mural drama since then. Like
it's actually
just
probably
been weird.
pretty good that it happened to Sergio too.
Why?
Because I'm such like
Well, that's the thing. It's like I freaked out because like if you were buzzed and the gallery owner had been buzzed.
If I was sober and someone
and
came at me like that, I'd be like, "Hey, let's go outside.
Let's
go stand outside for a second."
Yeah.
And then I would be like, "You need to do something, or
right?
No? Like,
yeah. Like, are we?
Don't make this awkward, bro.
Yeah.
You could leave, or I can beat the shit out of you."
Right. And I have a feeling that it would have been different if we had been there. You know, if we had showed up that night, like he wouldn't have attacked Sergio the way that he probably attacked Sergio.
Maybe I have no idea. I just know that, and maybe the guy's likes his booze.
Oh yeah.
You know, so I don't know. I don't know what you're locking up the wire. So yeah, I don't know, but
it's just one of those things where it's
probably
like
better that Sergio was there because he's such
non-confrontational
person that.
And sometimes when I get too drunk, like if I like that one time we were in Vegas, but for your best friend's wedding, I felt I wanted to go fight this older lady.
What?
Yeah, because she was being mean to you. Do you remember that? Like you had offered to take a picture. And she's like, "No, we don't need you to take a picture." And she like was really rude, and I got really upset. And I was too drunk, but I was walking back towards that way.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, and I like was in my head. I'm like, I'm gonna fight this bitch. Like in my head, I was just like already practicing. But like I've never even been in a fight. But if I get drunk, like in the right circumstance, like I have all the courage in the world, and I'm no longer 4'11".
So you admit you're 4'11".
I admit it.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I know, but I wanted juicy details.
I know.
I was listening to that episode like, God damn it, I want those details.
Yeah.
So how dare you guys?
This is our reality TV.
I know. I want to know. I mean, I connected all the dots. I just wanted to hear it.
Yeah.
And I would have just asked all the questions.
Yeah.
I'd have been like, so what happened?
Yeah.
Then what happened next?
Yeah.
All these, all the questions. Like,
all the juicy
happened,
details.
What happened next? What happened after that?
You
know, because I'm an interviewer, podcast talker person.
Yeah, it would have been. I don't think it would have gone. The night would have ended differently. Yeah. And what always freaks me out is like, regardless, like say you had gotten in a fight, like you guys would have both probably ended up arrested, and that's what freaks me out.
Yeah.
So it's like it's good that we weren't there because it's like, the police doesn't care who's right or wrong in that situation. If somebody threw a punch, you're getting arrested.
Right.
So
it probably wouldn't have ended in a fight. Most people aren't gonna fight.
Right.
You know what I mean? You learn when you've been in enough fights, you realize like, oh, most people just act tough.
Right.
But like the second you are like, are we good? Should we fight? They're like, no.
Right.
Or like, you know what I mean?
Right.
There's a level. There's always like, I feel like 90% of people are probably not willing to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some of us are trying not to fight.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's good. And you frequent that bar enough that I'm surprised that you haven't run into him, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Kurt.
Yeah.
You're talking about, right.
Anyway. It seems like a reoccurring theme that you have these like kind of unaware gallery owners though. Like obviously like we try our best to steer clear of those types of people, but it seems like this weird reoccurring theme.
Right.
That happens, that it's like you have these gallery owners that just are unaware, and even they think that they're on the artist side when they're not. Like the guy, that Justin guy from White Walls or whatever. like everyone, like he I think he kind of put a front that he's like, I'm on the artist side, but the more and more time went by and the more years went by and the more artists that were getting fucked over and not paid for their shows, you realize, like, is this like a thing? Like, a lot of these, like, quote unquote successful galleries, or not, I mean, and just galleries in general, just aren't like honest.
It's
I don't know.
Weird world. I mean, the art world in general.
Yeah, I don't know.
Motherfuckers are. I mean, there's grimy people on all spectrums of every fucking facet of this world.
The crazy thing is that I don't even know if they're aware of it.
Everyone's a hero in their own story.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks they're a good guy.
Yeah.
Everyone justifies their bad actions. It's just how humans work. There's very few people who are shitty people without having to justify it in their own brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you. You know what I mean? You're just an evil person.
Do you think that
You're a psychopath.
Do you think that to be a psychopath is a mental disorder?
Yes.
You think so?
It's a mental thing.
Right.
I think it's a mental trait.
Do you think there's medication against it and like to help you like have empathy towards others?
I don't know.
I really don't think so.
I definitely don't want to answer because I'm not schooled in any of this shit. Actually, I do want to answer. Ask me the question again.
Do you think that psychopaths are able to medicate to feel empathy?
Yes.
Okay, good.
It's called anti-psychopathic empathy pills.
Okay, good.
Next question.
Pedophiles. Is there a pill to make them not pedophiles?
Yeah, it's called it's called chemical castration.
That's true. There is a chemical castration.
Next question.
Serial killers.
MJ's question corner.
Is there a pill to help serial killers not be serial killers? What's the pill called?
Called milk. Milk pills.
Milk pills? Milk
Yeah.
steak?
Those called milk pills. Because everyone knows if you add milk to cereal,
Okay.
they get soggy. You know what I mean? Get soggy. Next question.
I don't have another question.
See?
Narcissist pills?
Nope.
What is it?
They haven't cracked that case yet.
So narcissists are just
Scientists
aren't
haven't been
narcissists?
able to unnarcissize people. Science.
Got it.
Yep. So I think we've reached the time where we're really, we've really gone off the deep end.
Last question. Is there a pill to keep people from drinking delicious bat soup?
No. Don't be like this.
What are you talking about?
MJ?
What happened?
Don't.
All I want in life is delicious bat soup.
That's all you want?
That's all I want.
That's all you want?
All I want is a
Have
nice,
you ever had any
steaming,
before?
hot pile of delicious bat soup.
Have you ever had it before?
No, but I can only imagine.
I
Have
feel
you
like
ever
bat
had
soup is like Twinkies. You know what I mean? When you're a kid, you see a Twinkie and you're like, that is going to be delicious. And then you put it in your mouth and you're like, that is shit. That thing
I still like
sucks.
Twinkies.
I know, but your palate is a palate of a fucking
I will
not even a
probably
5-year-old Josh.
I cannot wait.
5-year-old Josh palate was like, ugh, Twinkies suck ass.
I love Twinkies.
They're
And
so bad.
I will probably love me a nice spicy bat soup with a little bit of lemongrass.
Stop talking about this. This is gonna offend people. You're offensive. And your art
Sucks.
starts with a capital F. All right. Well, this has been the episode. I apologize for the last little bit. MJ drank a lot.
No, I didn't.
She drank a lot for her.
I didn't.
We really went off the deep end. She had the idea of making this drunk history. She just didn't let me know that.
In my head, this was drunk history waiting to dry.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I know.
Okay.
Well, This has been Waiting to Dry. Thank you for listening. Please rate and review. Oopsies. And if you're on Android, you have no excuse now, as Sergio has pointed out. So we see you.
Only review good things if you have something mean to say or bean to say.
Or being to say. And don't, if you have something mean to say, review us too. I mean, we'll take
Or
whatever we can get.
Y'all also take it if you have something
Yeah.
bean to say.
Yeah. So rate and review. It helps.
Yes,
We're supposed to say that.
it'll help.
And yeah, thanks for listening. This has been Waiting to Dry. I think I said that already. If you're still listening, fuck off.
Okay, bye.